For 1,500 years, Christian pilgrims have climbed a mountain in Egypt believing it was Mount Sinai. But what if they've been standing on the wrong peak? Across the Gulf of Aqaba, in northwest Saudi Arabia, stands a darkened mountain that some researchers believe matches the biblical description more closely than the traditional site. For decades, it was nearly impossible to visit. Now, in 2026, with ongoing guided tours to these sites, fresh social media discussions, and gradually improving access in the region, the debate is resurfacing and intensifying. Even the Apostle Paul wrote, "Now Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia," Galatians 4:25. So what did he mean? Tonight, we're examining the geography, the history, and one overlooked detail most documentaries don't mention, a detail that could shift the entire discussion. Before we move east, we need to understand the traditional view. The commonly accepted Mount Sinai is Jebel Musa in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. This identification dates back to the 4th century, when Helena, mother of Emperor Constantine, associated the mountain with the biblical site. A monastery was eventually built there, solidifying the tradition for centuries. For most Christians, that settled the matter. But here's the question. Was the 4th century identification based on preserved memory or devotional tradition? Because when we return to the biblical text, geography becomes very interesting. Before the Exodus, Moses fled Egypt and lived 40 years in Midian. Midian was not in the Sinai Peninsula. Historically and geographically, Midian is located east of the Gulf of Aqaba, what is today northwest Saudi Arabia. It was there that Moses encountered the burning bush at Horeb, the mountain of God, in Exodus 3. Later passages used Horeb and Sinai interchangeably. See Deuteronomy 5. If Moses was already in Midian when he encountered the mountain of God, why assume the mountain was west of the Gulf? That question is the foundation of the Arabian Sinai theory. But geography alone isn't the strongest argument. The physical markers are where things intensify. In northwest Saudi Arabia, two peaks draw attention, Jabal Alas and the nearby Jabal Maqla. At the base, the mountains are red granite typical of the region, but the summit of Jabal Maqla appears distinctly blackened. Some researchers argue this resembles the biblical description. Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord descended on it in fire. Exodus 19 verse 18. Critics counter that the dark coloration is likely natural metamorphic rock, desert varnish, weathering patterns, or ancient volcanic features. So the Scorched Summit is debated. But here's the overlooked detail. Near the base of this mountain is a massive split rock formation towering, fractured cleanly down the middle, with visible erosion channels suggesting significant ancient water flow in a region that is now intensely arid. Compare that with Exodus 17 verse 6, where water flows from the rock at Horeb. Is it definitive proof? No. But when Midian geography, the Blackened summit, and a split monolith converge in one region, the convergence becomes hard to dismiss outright. If this convergence intrigues you, stay tuned. The reason it's blowing up now might surprise you. For decades, this region of Saudi Arabia was restricted. But as northwest Saudi Arabia develops, including infrastructure, expansion, and phased tourism progress in the broader area, access is gradually increasing. Explorers, researchers, and independent investigators are revisiting the question with fresh eyes through guided expeditions and on-site tours. That's why social media, documentaries, and YouTube discussions are accelerating in 2026. It's not just theory anymore. It's becoming visitable terrain. And when sacred geography becomes accessible, debates intensify. Let's be clear. If Mount Sinai is in Saudi Arabia, it does not rewrite Scripture. It would refine our map, not our theology. The 10 Commandments remain. The covenant remains. The Exodus narrative stands or falls on historical reality, not tourism tradition. And even scholars who reject the Arabian theory admit this. Paul's phrase Sinai in Arabia in Galatians 4 verse 25 is geographically intriguing, because Arabia in the 1st century referred to the Nabatean kingdom, which extended east of the Gulf. That doesn't settle the debate, but it keeps the question open. In the end, the precise coordinates matter less than the revelation that occurred there. At Sinai, wherever it stands, God descended in fire. The mountain shook. A covenant was established. And Hebrews reminds us, our God is a consuming fire, Hebrews 12:29. You can pinpoint the peak and still miss the voice. You can debate the terrain and never hear the thunder. So here's the deeper question. If God truly spoke from a real mountain in real history, what does it mean if he still speaks today? This week, read Exodus 19 verse 20 slowly. Picture the smoke, the trembling ground, the sound of the trumpet, and ask yourself, is your faith anchored in inherited tradition or in the living God who reveals himself in history? The quest for Sinai is not about moving a mountain, it's about rediscovering the voice that shook one. For deeper dives, check resources from Doubting Thomas Research or similar biblical geography explorations in the description. Stay watchful, stay anchored, and seek the fire, not just the coordinates. If this sparks fresh eyes on Scripture, like, subscribe, share your thoughts below. What do you think about Sinai's location? And we'll keep digging deeper together. Truth sets us free.